Hello everyone, today we have something special. We are going to learn how to detect any color in an image in real time. Here you can see we have an orange Lamborghini that if I move my camera around, you can track it well. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos. So let's get started. So here we have the code from our webcam stream, and we are basically importing the libraries and we are initializing the camera, and then we have a while loop that iterates and gives us the output each frame. So the image is stored in our img variable. So if I run this now, you will see the output of the webcam, which is the car lying down on a carpet. So we are going to start off by converting this image, which is BGR, into HSV. Now what is HSV? HSV is a color space that closely aligns with the way humans perceive. It was invented in 1970s, I believe, and it is a bit easier to work with rather than the BGR or RGB color space. So we are going to use the HSV color space, which is hue, saturation, and value. Hue is the color, saturation is how pure the color is, and the value is how bright the color is. So we will convert our image to HSV, so we will call it img HSV equals cv2.cbt color. We are going to convert our image into cv2.color, and we will say that we need to convert it from BGR to HSV. So this changes our color, our image into HSV color space. So let's print out and see how does it look like. So we have img HSV, and we will say HSV color space. Okay. So here we can see the difference between the BGR and HSV color space, and we can see that the colors, they pop out much more. So we are going to get a range of colors from these HSV values so that we can detect a particular color. So we need to know now the three variables H, S, and V, but for each one of them we actually need two values because we need a range. So we need the minimum and the maximum. For example, we need the minimum hue and the maximum hue, then minimum saturation, maximum saturation, and so on. So but we don't know these values, so we have to play around with them until we get the desired results. So in order to do that, we are going to introduce something known as the track bar. The track bar is just a slider that moves back and forth and changes its value, and OpenCV has a great function to do that. So in order to introduce it, we are going to name our new window in which we will introduce these track bars. So we will write down cv2.named name the window, and we will name our window as HSV, and then we will say that we want to resize our window. The window we want to resize is HSV, and then we will resize it to, let's say, 640 by 240. 640 by 240, and then we are going to create our track bar. So cv2.create track bar, and we will name our value, which is hue, and we will say it's the minimum, and we are going to put it in the HSV window. So now we have to define the starting value, the default value in in normal cases we have the hue from 0 to 360. So but in OpenCV we have it from 0 to 180, so 0 to 179, so 180 values. So we will say that our initial value is 0 and our maximum value is 179, and after that we will define the function that needs to be called every time the track bar event is called. So we will write, we don't have to write anything here, but we need to define the function, and we can define this function as empty, and we will say that just pass if it's called. So if we run this now, we should be able to see a track bar. So here we have a window by the name HSV, and we have a hue minimum which goes from 0 to 179. So this way we are going to introduce the rest of the track bars. So hue minimum, hue maximum, saturation minimum, saturation maximum, value minimum, and value maximum. So here you can see I have written down the rest of the track bars, and I've changed the values a little bit. As you can see, all the minimums are 0 and all the maximums are actually the maximum values. So in hue we have the maximum up till 179, but in the saturation and the value we have a maximum till 255. So the minimum will be 0 and the maximum will be 255, the default values. So if I press run now, we should see 6 track bars. Oh, where did it go? Yeah, so we can see 6 track bars. So minimum, maximum, minimum, maximum, and minimum and maximum. So we can change it around. Now what we need to do, we need to get these values of these track bars, and then we are going to say that okay, you need to filter using these values, you need to filter a color. So let's do that. We will go into our while loop, and here we will grab these values. So we will put them in variables. So h, let's say minimum is equals to cv2 dot get track bar position, and we will say we will write down the name of the track bar, which is hue minimum, and then we will say that this is available on the HSV window. So we are getting it from there. So let's see, let's print it out. Print h underscore minimum. So let's try that out. So now the value, as you can see on the printout, we have 0. If I move it around, you can see the value changes. So we are getting our value. So I will write down the rest of them. So here you can see we have now the H minimum, H max, S minimum, S max, V minimum, and V max values. So here all I did was replace these names, these strings, and that's it. So the window will remain same and all of these will change. So now that we have all our values, we need to create a mask that will give us only the values that are in this range. So we will say, we will put them in one variable. So we will call it, or a matrix, we will call it lower, and we will say it is a numpy array of H minimum, and then S minimum, and then we have V minimum. So all of these are minimums, and then we have the upper, which is np.array, and then we have what do you call, H max, and then S max, and then V max. So now we will create our mask. Mask is equals to cv2 dot in range. So this is the function that will give us the values, only the values that are in range of these variables. So we will say we need the HSV image, and we are going to get the values from this HSV image, and then we will use our lower and we will use our upper limit. So this will give us a mask of our image, and then we will use this mask to actually output the final results of our colored object. So we will say result is equals to cv2 dot bitwise, and we are going to use an AND function. So we will have this mask, and then we will have our original image, and then we will merge them together. So we will say whatever is present in both of them, we only need that. The rest of them, the rest of the things you can skip. So we will say our image and image we are going to use with our mask. So now our mask should be ready to print. So let's see how our mask looks like. Mask, and let's say mask, and then we are going to also print the result, and we will say results. Let's remove the HSV. I think we have seen enough, and let's print it out. So here we have our track bar, here we have the result, and here we have the mask. It doesn't look much yet, but just hold on. Let's move the track bars and see what happens. Okay, now that we have aligned it out, so let's start with the hue. So as you can see, we are now changing the color. So what you want to do is you want to keep your color in the resultant image. In this image, you want to preserve your color that you want to detect. So for example, if orange is fading away, you want to stop and go back and keep the orange. So we will try to remove the other one. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Oh, and now it's gone. We will bring it back, and then we need to filter out the noise a little bit. Here you can see we are filtering it out, and we will try a little bit more to get a more stable result. Here you can see we are reducing the noise, and again we will just move it around until we get a good value. So I think this is a good position and a good good value. So we can see that we are easily able to get the orange color. So again, if we want to change, we can just move the track bar and get any color that we require. So what is happening is that we are getting this original image, we are taking only the range of these values, and then we are creating a mask out of this. And then what we do is we put these two images together, and we create a new image using an AND function. So next we are going to just stack these images together so that it's a little bit easier to work with. So we will just say that we want to horizontal stack is equals to np dot stack. No, let's do the horizontal stack, and then we are going to define which images we want to stack. So let's do the first one, which is image, and then do the resultant one, because these two are these two images have 3 channels, so it will output. Oh, we need to print out, so let's put that here, and we will say this is our H stack, and we will say horizontal stacking. Okay, so we will remove the others. We don't want to see those, so we will run it, and we see our horizontal stack. So this is good. If I move it around, let's see, yes, it changes and we can see our image. So next what we want to do is we want to add the mask as well, but the mask is only one channel. So here these two images are three channels, so we cannot add them together unless we convert it. So we are going to convert our image. So we will say mask is equals to cv2 dot cvt color, and we want to change our mask image to cv2 dot color gray to bgr, and that should do it. So if I write image and then I write mask and then I write comma, and it should work. And there you go. So if we move it around now, yes, it changes and we can see our effects being made. Now let's try a different color. Let's say, what do I have? Let's try yellow. I have a yellow object. Let's try with that. Okay, so here we have the yellow object. We are going to move it until we want to preserve the yellow color. So okay, till here, and then we will move this, and here we are preserving. Now we remove, yes, and then we try to adjust a little bit if required, and it seems quite good. No need for the last one. Okay, so now let's move the camera and see how it performs. So as you can see, it performs actually quite well. So this was today's tutorial on how to detect colors. In the next video we are going to look at contours, so how we are going to get the position of this object that we have detected, the x and y coordinates, the center of it, the size of it, and then we will utilize it in some kind of project. So stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the notifications, and I will see you in the next video.